I beat myself. Just kidding. Fish cake, stand by at the door. 業務連絡で中 Fish cake set slide bar. 皆様こんちくわ。Fish cake Air CH88B をご利用いただきましてありがとうございます。この便の機長はコンチーフパーサーはちくわでございます。ご用がありましたら遠慮なくコメント欄にてお知らせくださいませ。Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome aboard Fish Cake Air Flight CH-80A. The captain in command of this flight is Kon, and the chief purser is Chikunya. Tanya. Please let us know in the comment section if you need any assistance. And we hope you enjoy the flight with me. 皆様離陸でございまする。セクシーな衣食に着替えて飲み物とイヤホンをご準備くださいませ。目的地また目的地到着時刻はともに未定でございます。Ladies and gentlemen, and whatever creatures you are, we are now ready for takeoff. Don't forget to use earphones for sexy contents and stay hydrated. And we never know when we arrive at our destination. Are you ready? Are you ready? おっしゃ、行くぞマイクです。よし、こんちか。Hello. And again, I forgot to tweet. Nick-chan, you're here. Welcome back. Mic test. I didn't say mic test. Mic test. あ、カリメラメラ。Okay, let me streaming now. Nick です。Personally. Let's educate ourselves. And I put the link to my stream and tags Vtuber. Okay. Here we go. So I wanna watch the new episode of Chainsaw Man, but I'm not sure when it will be on air. Like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't know. Can I make the letter bigger? Ah, Kisano-chan, hello, konnichiwa, what's up? Yeah. Font size bigger. Okay, I think it's bigger now. So, how have you been, you guys? Today I really wanted to go out. I really wanted to go to the biggest H&M in Tokyo, and it's in Shibuya. I really wanted to go to Shibuya, but after working so hard yesterday, I couldn't sleep at night. Then I woke up at 10 or 11 today. Then I was still really tired, and you know, I just needed more sleep, so I slept a lot, and now I'm finally feeling fine. So let's read an article. Educate ourselves. So is there something not that depressing? Like Russian attack on the city claimed by Moscow kills 17. No, we shouldn't read it. Well, we should read it, but you know, I just don't have the capacity to deal with those negative news. 24 children died, one lived. She had no idea. That's so sad. I love Shibuya in all the video games. I go to Shibuya in Wow. Do you think Kazuma Kiryu has ever visited Shibuya? I think he's been in Shinjuku district a lot. Indian man at the bottom. Who loves bicycle more than gold? Oh, it's a video. You can watch it. Anything else? Your pictures are on the theme of skyline. How zero COVID is spoiling C's party. Everything about full story. Wildlife abundance. Europe's Amazon nature reserve. I think it's safe to assume he's been to Shibuya. He's definitely been to Shinjuku since that's where Kabukicho is. Yeah. He's also definitely been to Dotonbori in Osaka since that is what the Dotonbori is based on. Yeah. He's been to Okinawa too. Pavement on their reunion. We are like an encaged tiger. Excitement and fear in Ukraine after bridge blast. Why are global rates of myopia soaring? What is myopia? Myopia. Ah. Well, because we are using more cell phones. The kid's been raised without gender. Mission to see Titanic. Oh, he's been to Hiroshima too. A controversial archaeologist find. Ajikanyo, how are you? How emotional cheating destroys couples. Oh my god, I shouldn't read this. Oh my gosh, this is too much. Aru-chan, ohayo. The 5 massive ocean rubbish patches. Oh my god. This one I got interested in the most. The parents raising their children without gender. Some parents are championing oh, so I didn't know champion could work also as a verb, and it means like fight for something. Very interesting. さあ、みんなで教養を高めていきましょう。Gender creative parenting style, which are designed to let children pick their own identities later in life. Wow. This is really cool. And we need bigger letters. Bigger letter, please. Font size, biggest. Okay. What? Nothing has changed. あ、エリックちゃん、こんちくわ、What's up? おはようございます。おはこんち。As Gabriella Martinson prepared for the birth of her first child, she came to a decision. She wouldn't tell her child if they'd been born a girl or a boy, and would largely avoid discussing their birth sex with people outside her family and friendship group. Control and plus. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Thank you, Nick. You know so much. More than I do. I see. Thank you. Nice. Okay, now it's easier to read the article. I wanted them to be who they want to be. I don't want to decide that for them, says Martinson, who was 30 and living in her home city, Stockholm, when she had her first child. It's just as I don't want to decide what they grow up to do or who they decide to love or live with. As a child herself, Martinson had mostly been raised within stereotypical gender norms, such as being given pink belongings and dresses to wear, but in her late teens, she says she discovered feminism and began questioning gender norms. So, when she became a mother, she chose to buy her own child a wide range of clothes and gifts, ranging from trains to dolls, giving them free choice and help them accept other people who don't adhere to the gender binary or other social norms. I'm letting them be anything and teaching them to not be so narrow-minded, she says. Okay, so here, don't adhere to the gender binary. Adhere. くっつく、固着する、粘着する、付着する、保持する、固く何しする。Binary. So, recently we use the word unbinary quite often. Binary. まあ、2つのっていうことなんですね。Well, it's so difficult because when he or she is 2 years old, 3 years old, they start speaking, right? And then what should we do? Can we call her she? Can we call him he? Like it's an English like linguistical problem, but for you guys. But here in Japan, it's not a problem. We are not living in the he or she society. Well, our gender gap is one of the biggest, but still linguistically. Martinson, I think as with how the article does, he just use them, they and them, like they are 2 years old soon and so on. Well, it's so it's so confusing because when she says they, then people would ask, oh, are they twins? You got twins? And she said no. And then we were like, what? And then she was like, well, my child hasn't decided which gender to, you know, adapt to themselves, so yeah. あ、白銀ちゃん、こんちくわ。How are you? It's been a long time. Martinson, who since repeated the approach with her 2 other children. It's part of what some experts say is a small yet growing number of parents, both straight and queer, who've opted for gender-neutral parenting in recent years. It's unclear exactly how many families have adopted this strategy, since there's been little academic or public research into the microtrend. まあこのその性別っていうものを押し付けないという育て方っていうのがもう最近始まったばっかりなのでまだ、その研究がないということなんですね。このオプトっていう言葉は今調べたけども選ぶ決めるっていうchoose の、まあ、かっこいいバージョンっていうことですね。opt both straight and queer. りそくちゃん、こんちくわ。And if they're like, oh, you have twins, I personally attack them. Hey, isn't... Ah, okay. I understand. Wait, I think I forgot to close my window, so give me a second. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, on that context, and if I ask them, oh, you get twins, like it's so annoying. Okay, next. Martin's son, who has since repeatedly... Oh, we read that. But parenting authors, psychotherapists, and preschool teachers alike anecdotally say they've noticed the practice ticking up in the past decade, particularly in Northern Europe and the US. 心理セラピストと幼稚園の、教員たちは同じように逸話的に言います。Ticking up in the past decade. Okay. So it's kind of boom trend. While more parents are opting for this approach, however, niche the trend may still be. It's an unconventional choice and not one without pushback, even controversy. どういうこと？ Niche the trend may still be. でもまだそれはニッチなトレンドであるでしょう。It's an unconventional. まあしきたりに当てはまらないっていうことなんで、まあ従来にはなかったような選択であるし、not one without pushback. Pushback っていうのは押し返すけど。pushback ってどういう意味？ What does it mean? Without pushback. 後戻りができないってことは後戻りができないものだし、すごく議論を呼び起こすような問題でもあると。Yet parents who back entrenched child rearing practices have specific motivations for doing so, as well as practical approaches they take. I don't understand this sentence. Who back動いたり反対するっていう意味。凝り固まった子供の育て方に反対する親たちはこの育て方をすることに対してものすごくモチベーションがあるんですと。Understanding this can help others make sense of their choices and even shed light on what an untraditional parenting approach might mean for the future of raising a child. これらの動きっていうのを理解するということは、自分たちのその教育に対する選択っていうものに対する自覚というものを助けるものであり、伝統的ではない、子育てのアプローチ方法に対して光をジェットライトってどういう意味？ジェットライト、光を当てる ことになるでしょうみたいな、そういうことですか。In Sweden, Gabriella Martinson's 3 children have been given free choice to dress as they want and choose the pursuit they desire. Okay. So when we see them, it's difficult to say if it's a girl or a boy, and I think that's cool. Especially, yeah, we can't tell if they're a boy or a girl. That's very interesting. I love it. I love it. I really love it. Huh. Like raising your child as a boy or as a girl, and the biggest demerits about it is, in my opinion, they get narrow-minded and they just take it as a stereotype. Like it becomes their normal. So they would think other girls should wear pink too if they are made to wear pink. Things like that. But I think they are pretty much open-minded and they wouldn't care if the boy was playing with the dolls, Barbies, or if the girl was, playing with the cars. I think they wouldn't care. So that's a good thing. The rise of gender-neutral parenting. Berlin-based queer gender-neutral parenting author, blogger, and lecturer Ravuna Martin Nathaniel Seaver says choosing not to label a young child as a boy or a girl started to gain traction in the 1980s already? What? Mostly in queer communities. This coincided with what they describe as the second wave of feminism, with women rebelling against being typecast as caregivers in the home or in certain jobs. That's really cool. Coincided, okay. Traction, gain traction. Traction means 牽引力 gain traction で、後押しされるみたいな、そういう意味かな。Zion, you're finally catching the stream. Thank you so much for coming. Seaver's research for their book involved reviewing decades of existing gender studies literature as well as speaking to parents themselves. They say many of the people attracted to gender-neutral parenting want to avoid subjecting their kids to experiences they had themselves. Growing up in a world where male-female stereotypes and power structures were more prevalent than they are today, transgender people faced higher levels of discrimination and LGBTQ+ relationships were less accepted, all of which impacted on people who didn't conform to these norms. Okay. So parents who are choosing this type of parenting are the ones who suffered from those like traditional parenting. Okay. Yeah, because I would do the same. because I suffer the same. I was suffering in the same way. Like, I was told to be ladylike when I wanted to fight against men. But you know, you cannot change our character. No, I'm rebellious forever. Gender-neutral parenting, therefore, emerged not to neutralize children's genders, but to allow them to discover their own identity rather than being told about it by others, says Seaver, who use they/them pronouns. Okay, so Seaver is a they person. Some English-speaking parents prefer the term gender-creative parenting to help avoid confusion that the goal is to neutralize gender, says Seaver. Some also use the term gender-open parenting for similar reasons. What? Is it weird to say that? Oh, it's okay, Kisano-chan. Rest well. Rest enough. You need rest. Well, I thought today is Sunday, but it's actually Monday. I just skipped Sunday with my job, so. However, it is defined, this kind of parenting mostly remained niche into the 90s and 2000s, says Seaver, but became silently more well known in the early 2010s after a number of queer and straight families shared their stories in the media, generating high-profile polarized debates. Polarized.二極化されたディベート。なんでしょう。This included a Toronto-based couple who raised a child called Storm without giving them a gender label, and a cis husband and his genderqueer wife in Salt Lake City, who documented their journey bringing up a kid called Zoomer on social media channels. Meanwhile, global reporters about some preschools in Sweden avoiding using the words for him and her for all attempting pupils also helped put gender-neutral ideologies in the spotlight, says Seaver. Okay. What? CIS. What does it mean? Commonwealth of Independent States. What is that? Commonwealth of Independent States. I'm just saying you can fight me anytime. Well, I'm not always that sweet. I wanted them to be who they want to be. I don't want to decide that for them. Just as I don't want to decide what they grow up to do or... Okay, so we read that before. Around this same period, Seaver, who identifies as transgender, no-binary, and polyamorous... Wait. So, this person... can have like physical relationships with multiple people. Transgender and non-binary. Well, does it really work? Transgender? I thought transgender is used between like female or male decision. Like when they are born with female body but feeling they are men, it's transgender, right? And then non-binary is like the thought of there is no gender. But when they say transgender, they're somehow admitting there are two genders. Natsuki-chan, hello. Yeah, I'm doing better. Thank you so much for coming and say hi to me. Thank you. How are you? You picked an article that is intended to be confusing. Well, but this is the question. If you're saying I'm transgender and also non-binary, does it make sense? Wow. Non-binary is not that there is no gender. Non-binary is that there is something that is neither of those, not part of the binary. Yeah, so I know. So non-binary is like, it's not 0 or 100. There is 50 or 30 or 70 or something, right? So if Shiver says I'm non-binary, I do understand it. Yeah, she's sometimes very feminine, sometimes very masculine, sometimes 50-50, sometimes 30-70. But if she says, or if he says I'm transgender, I just feel like that means I was born as a woman, but I am a man. Non-binary is actually part of the transgender umbrella because of that, because it's still a different gender than the one assigned to them at birth. Then, okay, so if the non-binary is part of transgender, then this person didn't have to say I'm transgender. They could just say no, I'm non-binary. Is this just me? Began raising the first of 3 children without gender labels. Seaver explains that their personal experiences growing up in the 1990s heavily impacted their decision. Although their parents were influenced by earlier feminist waves that encouraged children to do whatever they wanted in terms of activities, they still labeled Seaver as a girl, which they didn't feel comfortable with. It's so confusing because it says they, but she. Okay, it took me until my late 20s to figure out I could just step out of that box because I had no words for it. I wasn't told a language for it, says Seaver. Maybe so, but I think they were just specifying because their title is important to them. Besides, some people don't realize being NB counts, non-binary counts as being trans. I see. Ah. That's really difficult. So this person is saying I am transgender because she had the feeling that she is not something that others were saying to her that she is a girl. She didn't feel like that. It's very confusing, but people called her a girl, but she didn't feel like it. And in that sense, she feels she is transgender. And she also feels that her gender is not zero, like not female, not 100% female or male. So she says non-binary for that. Okay, I do understand. I understand now. Ah. ちょっとさ、だからつまりこの人が自分はトランスジェンダーでありノンバイナリーであり、多性愛者だ、多性愛者っていうかこう多重に人と関係を持つことができるみたいなことを言ってるのって、トランスジェンダーですっていうのは自分が生まれ持った性別、例えばこの人の場合であればあなたは女性ですと言われて育ったことに対して違和感を持っていた、プラス女性である時もあれば男性である時もあれば女性でも男性でもない時もあるみたいな、なんか似て非なるものなんだよね。It's kind of confusing, but it's not too difficult to understand. Yeah, now I understand what it means. They were born female, but growing up realized they are not male or female and something different that's not part of those two. Since their gender is different, they are transgender and non-binary. Yeah, soトランスジェンダーっていう言葉っていうのって、生まれた時に与えられた性別と今の自分の感じている性別っていうのの対比であって、ノンバイナリーっていうのは現在自分がどういう状況であるかっていうことにこう注視してるから、似て非なるものというか、違うものなんだよね。Wow, so there would be so many people who call themselves as they. Huh. Well, it's kinda matching with the theme of my appearance. Like I'm not a girl, I'm not a boy. So I'm they. There's actually a non-binary character in Guilty Gear and they use ware when they refer to themselves, which I think is quite cool. Yeah, so they can adapt Japanese first person 代名詞ってなんて言うんだっけ、pronoun. They can adapt our pronoun. For example, 私 can be used for men or woman or anyone. Take ちゃん、こんちくわ、What's up? ちょっとたけちゃんさ、初めてジムに行った時のこと聞きたいんだけど、ちくわもジムに行きたいけど行ったことがないからさ、どうすればいいんだろう。機械の使い方とかわかんないし、行ったらなんかムキムキの人が教えてくれたりするのかな。Japanese is not very constrictive when it comes to that kind of thing, since even a girl can use boku, for example. Yeah, and most of the time we just skip the subjects. We rarely say I or you or she or he or they all the time, so. ジム行ってみたいんだけど。マッチョになりたい。ちくわもプロテインガー飲んで。Like Martinson Seaver believes gender-neutral parenting from birth makes life easier for kids who decide they don't fit into binary norms and could help these children avoid some of the confusion severe experienced during their own youth. They also hope that the approach will help spread feminist messages more broadly. Rigid ideas of gender have been discussed as the main source of patriarchal oppression. 森蔵ちゃんこんにちは。ジムのトレーナーさんが教えてくれ。あ、本当？行ってみよっかな。もう運動したくて。patriarchal oppression、不調制度的な oppression 的な抑圧圧迫みたいな。森蔵ちゃんこんにちは。What's up？ ムキムキになりたい。でなんかマッチョな人となんかねいい感じになってさ。森蔵ちゃん元気してたか？またすぐ忘れちゃうんだけど、主張的な圧迫、課長風土的な圧迫。もうさ、日本語もさ不便すぎてさ、わかるよ、意味わかる。By decades of feminist work。 その課長風土的、その男がトップに立つみたいなその風土の圧迫感のメインソースとして議論されてきたと。そのジェンダーをばっくり忘れちゃうっていうのはpatriarchal。The more open our kids can grow up, the less gendered power structures will influence who has power in society and thus who profits most from it。だから子供たちがもっとオープンな態度で育つことによってそのジェンダーギャップ、その男女差みたいな、男尊女卑だったり女尊男卑だったりっていうその歪んだパワーというのが、パワーのその構造、社会的構造というのがより影響しづらくなるんですと。で、それが社会にとって利益にもなることなんですよと。Mark Varmeyer, psychotherapist who works with families in Brighton, England, as that in the 2020s, conversations about gender identity and gendered oppression have become much more commonplace in media and society, and that this is helping to show parents that there are alternative ways to raise children。 本当にやっぱ最近この SNS だったりっていうものが、インスタグラムだったりとか YouTube だったりとか、そういう場面、そういうところにこのトランスジェンダーの方とかノンバイナリーの方とかがいっぱい出てきて、でもうそれがクールみたいな感じになってた。その中の多くの人たちがこうインフルエンサーとかになってお金を稼ぐようになって、
クールみたいな感じになってメディアに出始めて、やっぱりそういう人たちがいるっていうことが受け入れられるようになってきたよね。なんか例えばもう今さ、多分ゲイの人を差別するとか、なんだろう、男の子で人形遊びしてる人をなんかこうバカにするとか、そういうのってもうダサいよね。ダサいっていうか、昭和ですかみたいな、そういうノリになってきてるよね。My parents are aware of the possibility of raising a gender-neutral child. He says, due to the increasing use of they/them pronouns, as well as a general growing awareness of the impact of stereotypes and biases. From his experiences working with both parents and teenagers, he says increasing numbers of parents wish to give their child the space psychologically and emotionally to fully express who they are by minimizing the conscious and unconscious impact that gender bias can have on a child. For example, seeing girls as weaker or boys as smarter. I disagree so much. Because we are all strong, we are all smart, regardless of our gender. そうだね。まあその先入観を与えないっていうのは大切だよね。In a German-speaking area of Switzerland, Marcus Janin and his wife embrace a gender-neutral parenting approach for their 2 children. That's cool. They can experience what feels best for them. The actual practice of gender-neutral parenting differs. Oz, konnichiwa, what's up? Selamat malam, ni hao ma. And the approaches parents take are often personal in nature, related to their own special perceptions and experience. Women be like, we are just as strong as men. Okay, physically assault me, please beat me up. Well, ちょっとたけちゃんの教えにのっとりジムへ行き、ムキムキになったちくわがみんなをぶちのめす。いや、ぶちのめすなんて言ってはいけない。ムキムキになってみんなと一緒にエンジョイしていきましょう。Oh, I know you played badminton today, Oz. I saw your Twitter post. Don't underestimate me. I'm reading everything that you guys post on Twitter. Among families, one option in English-speaking countries is for parents to refer to their offspring using they/them pronouns. The word they/by, a trend of the words they and baby has emerged to describe these children. Some parents prefer to use a mixture of he and she pronouns instead. Others, like Martinson, don't use the words boy or girl, but do feel comfortable using their child's birth sex pronoun, unless the child requests otherwise, while prioritizing neutral alternatives such as child, friend, or sibling. Eugene, hello, konnichiwa, what's up? Interesting. Do feel comfortable using their child's birth sex pronoun. So if their sex was boy, maybe he's gonna call him he. He's gonna call her she. But if they ask them, if their babies ask them to call them he or she instead of she or he. I see. Marcus Chessman. Marcus Channon a part-time writer who is embracing a gender-neutral parenting approach from a German-speaking area of Switzerland, says he would like to identify his children with a gender-neutral pronoun such as they. However, this currently doesn't exist in German language. 検索してやればちゃんと体に変化が現れて楽しくできると思うよ。やっぱりもっとムキムキになって戦いで勝てるようになりたいわよ。まちるんちゃんこんちくわ What's up? I wanna go to the gym and be stronger so that I can fight against like anyone who's gonna hurt me. He and his wife are straight and each identify as their instead, he and his wife call their two young children by different nicknames that don't always conform to gender stereotypes. In German, all nouns have a masculine, feminine, or so-called neuter prefix. The word mouse, for example, is a feminine noun with the gender prefix D. Chanen says most German parents would therefore avoid giving this animal nickname to a boy. However, his family wouldn't think this way. Being gender-creative parents, we deliberately use names with all three genetical genders, he says. This comes with the advantage that they can experience what feels best for them before deciding on a preferred pronoun, he explains. We basically wanted to give them more options than a society that tries to put children in a gender-based mold early on. So, would they call him Mousy? Then Hundchen, Katzchen oder weiß nicht. Aber interessant. Maybe Brotchen. Brotchen. He and his wife are straight and each identity as their birth gender. For them, gender-neutral parenting was less a reaction to their own childhoods and more a case of looking at the evolving world and deciding to do things differently. In particular, they say they were both appalled I don't know this word. Appalled. They say they were both appalled by the heavy marketing of gendered books, clothes and toys, which Chanen believes has exploded in Switzerland over the last few decades. ジムってさ、だってたけちゃんジム週3でしょ。例えばちくわが週3で行ってさ、やっぱりジムに行くのと家でトレーニングするのとじゃ違うのかな。もっと強くなりたい。I wanna be ikemen. I wanna be ikemen, you know? I wanna be ikemen with muscles. I wanna be ikemen. And I just wanna feel I'm so cool or I'm so masculine with muscles. The couple like Martinson buy their kids clothes from both sides of the aisle and try to expose them to a broad selection of belongings and entertainment. We make sure that they read books or watch films that represent a certain diversity and don't reproduce too many gender stereotypes, he says. But most importantly, we watch our language so as to not reproduce gender stereotypes ourselves, and we try to be good role models. Also, we openly talked about gender and sexuality early on in an age appropriate way, of course. そうなんだ。器具がいっぱいあるからいろんな筋肉を鍛えられるんだ。筋肉ってどこにでもついてるもんね。多分だけどちくわはもうね、腕が細すぎて、腕が本当に細いから腕をもっとムキムキにしたい。上腕二頭筋をはじめとして、やっぱこの肘より上がムキムキだとすごいかっこいいじゃん。なんかタンクトップとか着た時に。だからそこと、あとはまあちょっとだけ腹筋。でも腹筋はそんなにいらない。やっぱ腕と太もも、お尻、太ももとお尻。そっか、器具がいっぱいあるからいいんだね。行ってみたいな。The couple like Martinson. あれ？もう読んだか、ここ。まあだからこのマーティンソンカップルはね、まあさ、店って女の子用の服、男の子用の服ってまだめっちゃ分かれてるけれども、まあどっちも試させたりとか、あとはテレビ見るときとかも、こうなんか、こう、本当に女男をこう分けて考えてるステレオタイプをだだ流れさせてるような番組を見せるんじゃなくて、こうちゃんとこう内容がね、ちゃんとその倫理的に正しくないって分かんないけど、とにかくそのバイアスがあんまりかかってないような番組を見せてるとことなんですね。すごい。10人も来てるってなってるけど、絶対に登録してください。ちょっと宣伝入りますけど、このチャンネルは現役 CA かつ英語教員免許を持っている今ちくわによって運営されております。どうぞ皆さんチャンネル登録をお願いいたします。そしてディスコードもございますけれども、諸事情により、嵐が入るため宣伝用のリンクはただいま稼働しておりませんので、ツイッターで、リプライをいただけましたら、招待のアドレスを送らせていただきます。よろしくお願いいたします。Like Martinson and Seaver, Shannon also hopes the experience will make a less bumpy ride if his kids identify as LGBTQ+ and encourage them to accept others who fit into these categories. It's realistic that our children will meet other children that don't identify with their given gender at birth, and that they will meet a lot of queer people in their life, he says. And I want our children to understand different gender identities, and I want them to understand different pronouns. ジムに行けばトレーナーさんがどうやればいいかちゃんと教えてくれるから、正しい筋肉のつけ方も教えてもらえる。そうなんだ。なんかそれってやっぱりさ、トレーナー付きのジムとかじゃないとダメなのかな。それとも行ったらその管理人みたいな、そこでいる人がもはやそれがトレーナーさんなのかな。まあそれはジムによるよね。でもなんか徒歩圏で行けるところで探してみようかな。He accepts that other parents may feel they can encourage these values without changing their language and behaviors to such an extent, and believes parents can find the place on the gender-neutral spectrum where they feel most comfortable. Nevertheless, in his opinion, he believes his family's approach is potentially more helpful in fighting to dilute gender stereotypes and stigmas. dilute って何？ dilute 薄める。ああ、薄めるっていう意味。お腹減ってきた。I'm getting hungry. So let's skip to the last. Okay. I'm getting really hungry, so.多分どこのジムでも教えてくれる人いる？ほんま？しんちゃん。じゃあ行ってみようかね。ちょっと嵐が来てるんですけども。ちょっと嵐が来てて、その嵐が来てます。非表示にさせていただきました。悪いですけど。そう、まだ夕飯食べてないの。お腹が減った。ちょっと嵐が来たんで、今日の放送、ちょっともう、あと、もう麻雀配信に切り替えます。Eric, if you are here, etwas ganz, schwer ist happening jetzt. Und ich muss die Streaming zu stop. So let's read the last段落ってなんて言うんだっけ paragraph. Let's read the last paragraph all together and we're gonna eat dinner and then play mahjong at the same time, okay? じゃあちょっとこの最後の段落を読んでご飯を食べながら麻雀配信を後でします。なのでまたみんな後で来てください。ですね。じゃあ読みましょう。Whether gender neutral parenting will become more accepted and more commonplace is an ongoing debate among followers and observers of the phenomenon. Siba argues that recent examples of gender neutral parenting in the news and on social media may be contributing to a small rise in acceptance. However, in their opinion, it won't become a mainstream trend anytime soon. I hope it will become much more common, but at the current pace, this is going to take decades, especially with right-wing politics and talking points about protecting children from so-called gender ideology on the rise everywhere in the Western world. OK。まあさ、なんかこう、なんか、YouTube のなんかショートとかでも見たんだけど、自分のことを they と呼んでくださいみたいな。例えば、スターバックス、ちくわが見たのは、スターバックスのなんか注文するところの場面で、なんか、ちょっと、まあ、性別が男性でも女性でもないような人が来て、で、店員さんに、なんとかカプチーノくださいみたいな感じで言って、そしたら、その店員さんが裏にいる作る人に、she ordered some blah 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 みたいな感じで she っていうその彼女は何々をオーダーしましたみたいな感じで言うんだけど、私は she ではないみたいな、they ですみたいな感じで言って、なんかわちゃわちゃするみたいなやつだったんだけど、まあそういう風にこうバカにされるみたいな、バカにされるネタにもなってきちゃってるんだよね。だからちょっとあんまりそれは良くないよね。Shannon also believes there's a long way to go before gender-neutral parenting stops being a niche, despite the rising media attention to the phenomenon. He believes there's a big difference between the noticeable increase in interest and tangible shifts in behavior. There is a common reaction from generally open-minded parents who call it an interesting idea, but assume gender-neutral parenting to be hard to put into action and therefore don't think about it much further. However, others like Murchison are more optimistic about the trajectory, especially in more progressive countries like Sweden, which has a story of championing gender equality and LGBTQ rights. In the years since she had her first child, Murchison says, far fewer parents now stop her in the playground to ask about her children's genders. Oh. Meanwhile, she's noticed much more gender fluidity in the marketing of children's clothes and toys, boys in pink, boys in tights, and things like that, which she thinks is having an impact on attitudes. スウェーデンはもうお子さん男の子ですか女の子ですかっていう会話はもう NOっていう感じになってきているし、男の子がピンク着てようがタイツ履いてようがもう OK っていう感じになってるらしいですよ皆さん。I think gender neutral parenting will be easier and more popular, she argues. In my mother's generation, most people don't get it at all, but in my generation, a lot of people do. So when my children have children, I think and I hope that gender won't be an issue.In the same way as it is now. ということで、まあ今日新しく学んだことといえば、トランスジェンダーとノンバイナリーは微妙に違うものであるということです。はい。さあじゃあ今日はまあ嵐も来たってことでね。いい放送だったんじゃないでしょうかじゃあこの後麻雀やっていきたいと思いますこのまま麻雀をやり続けてもいいですか、それとも新しい放送枠を作った方がいいでしょうか。 Can I play Mahjong on this stream, or should I make another stream like in 5 minutes and start playing Mahjong? Well, maybe restart the streaming. Wait, Eric was not the mod? Oh my gosh, you're a mod now. Okay, I will make another stream and I will like set the comment section limited to the subscribers. じゃあ、一回放送を、終わらせて新しく放送ワークを作って麻雀やります。もし一緒にやってくれる人いたら来てください。If there's anyone who can play mahjong with me, please come over.The mahjong stream is starting in 5 minutes, so. じゃあ、また後でお会いしましょう。I will see you guys in 5 minutes, okay? じゃあね
ー。皆様、夢の国に到着いたしました。長いフライトに最後までお付き合いいただき、ありがとうございます。この先、電波を発する機器もご使用になれますが、上質な睡眠を阻害する恐れがありますのでお気をつけください。チャンネル登録と高評価はお済みでしょうか？ただいまのお時間にご確認ください。今日もフィッシュケークエアーをご利用いただきましてありがとうございました。皆様の次のご搭乗を心よりお待ちしております。Ladies and gentlemen, we have landed in sweet dreams.Hope this flight was pleasant for you. From now on, you can use electronic devices that emit blue lights. However, be careful since it might prevent you from falling asleep. If you enjoy the flight with us, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel at this time. Thank you for flying with Fishcake Air. Sleep tight, and we look forward to seeing you again. Bye bye.